Hi guys, a random hobby channel here. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. And in today's video, what I have for you is this homemade power brick cooler. Now, before I get into it really quick, this isn't my final version. I'm going to add some touches to it, like a box in the back to cover up these wires that are currently hanging out, as well as some rubber pads on the bottom. And I thought maybe even a removable top, just to make the top look a little bit nicer. That way this stuff isn't showing. But anyway, this does exactly what the name suggests. It cools power bricks for anything that uses a power brick. uh, but I mainly designed this to cool the one that goes to a battery charger for RC cars, as well as the one that goes to my gaming laptop. Now, both of those like to get very hot when in use. Sometimes they even like to smell a little bit. And of course, it's not the best thing for any electronic to get warm. And of course, when it gets warm, it loses efficiency. So I decided to make this, and so far, it has worked extremely well for me. I've used this hours on end, doing lots of trials with this. I've had it built for almost half a week now, and like I said, I've done lots of trials already with this, and it's worked extremely well. And again, this is all homemade. This is stuff I had lying at home. First piece is this metal case here. Came from a power supply to an old desktop PC, as well as these two fans also came from it. And this paper-like material, I just trimmed into shape and put on the front, just to make it look a little bit nicer. Now, for this, you don't need two fans like I did, but I decided to add two fans. That way there's a better jet of air going. Really quick, one of these fans does have the four wires. If you're curious about how to wire a four-wired fan, it's very simple. It's actually just the red and black wires. The other two, the blue and the yellow, you can just cut and you wire up to any power source, 5 volts at least, I recommend, and it works just fine. The switch, for the switch, I dug through my old Lego parts bin. Now, I could have used a switch I already had, but the only one I had was one of those itty bitty ones, and I didn't like that at all, so I decided to make a switch. And the switch works perfectly fine. It's even got this nice little LED strip right there. Very solid. It likes to make a creaking noise, but it works. I'll show you the contacts on the switch, that way you have a little bit better idea of what I did. Again, you don't need to make your own switch, but I did. So right here is a clip from a pen, and of course on the part that actually moves, there's a contact right there. When you flip it on, these two meet. It's a very solid contact, no play at all. And for the spring, right in there, hopefully there's enough light for you to see. Right in there is a little magnet. It just pulls on that piece of metal for the return. That way, this doesn't move onto the on position when you don't want it to. It works just fine. Now for the back where you actually put the power brick, I made this little shelf. Now the reason why I made a shelf versus just setting the power brick on the bottom is for more efficient cooling, and that way the heat gets drawn off a little bit better. So I have a power brick right here. I'll show you. So for this, air flows on the bottom, on the top and bottom as well, and it draws heat off very well. Again, I'm very impressed with the way this draws heat off. It's worked very well for me. And if you want to make one of these for yourself, I would recommend, if you use a power supply box like I did, please take it apart with caution. Those electronic parts, the capacitors mainly, they like to hold a voltage for a very long time, so please gut it out with extreme caution. Of course I did. I used lots of caution while I took the guts out, but once I had the guts out, it was very easy to build this whole setup because it already had the one fan. It already has exhaust holes, that sort of thing. Very easy to make. It didn't take a lot of time at all. The last thing to mention, this foam I just cut into shape, makes the back look a little bit nicer, as well as add some grip to whatever power brick I have on there. Powering this, I have it wired up to a USB cable. I just use one of those little bricks. It's the output to the brick that I use. It's 5 volts, I believe. I was concerned about this drawing too much power out of it, about it, getting warm, that sort of thing, but not at all. It seems to do just fine. Excuse me about slurring my words right there. But anyway, it does just fine. I'll plug it in for you guys now. Just give me 1 second here. Okay, there we go. So now we are going to turn it on. And it is running. The nice thing about these fans is they will last you an extremely long time as long as you don't have a super high voltage going into them. And they're also super quiet. That's what I like about them. And again, something like this works very well. It will last you a long time as long as you don't have a lot of voltage running into it and you have a good switch for it. And again, it's very simple to make. If you want to make one for yourself, and if you have any questions, please let me know and I will answer them for you. But again, something that's very easy to make at home. As long as you have an old desktop PC lying around, you can use the parts out of it, make one of these for yourself. No money. I didn't buy anything for this. Very simple. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, and so yeah, I'll see you guys next time.